Peace be with you, Sammy. Peace be with you, Richard. Peace be with you, Goldie. Peace be with you, Nancy. Nancy.
Stella, Splash, Simba, Hydrox, Ditto, and Boo. The Lucky Ferals.
It's 9:15 a.m. and there's Simba. He's laying in the catted track. That's how he likes to play with it. And here's Boo. So the cats all got brushed this morning. Gave them fresh water. And we did some general cleaning. And I tried to have playtime with them. And it did not go successfully. So that's why I took out the camera to make this video. So the cats have been off of crunchies. So they've been getting mostly homemade raw food, and occasionally I will give them some low-carb canned food, like a few varieties of Fancy Feast Naturals or a few varieties of Sheba's. Those are really low-carb foods. And for snacks, they've been getting freeze-dried chicken, and Simba loves his freeze-dried minnows. There's Simba. And we've been sticking to the lower carb options. So yesterday I forgot to defrost raw food for the cats because I wanted to make a new batch of raw food for the cats. And I thought, well, I'll just make a new batch and they could eat off the new batch. The problem was I didn't start making the new batch until later than I wanted to. And by that time, all of the cats were just getting under my feet. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to give them all food. They'll get some canned food. And then, you know, I'll just make the homemade food and I'll just put it in the freezer and they'll have it for future days. So that's what I did. But then I ended up having a bunch of distractions while I was making the raw food. So I finished making it later than I thought I would. And at that point, I was like really tired. I had not eaten dinner yet. So I ordered some takeout. And when I got back, Nancy was just crying and crying and crying and crying and crying. I'm like, what do you want? Now, Nancy's a crunchy fiend. All she likes to eat is crunchies, and she doesn't shut up until she gets crunchies. So I gave them a bunch of crunchies downstairs, and then I came back up, and I was like, you know what? These guys have not had crunchies in a while, so let me give them some crunchies too. Now, I only gave them about 1 tablespoon each. That's it. And I was like, you know, don't think this is going to be a regular habit. You're not getting as much as you used to get. I'm only giving you 1 tablespoon each. Well, they devoured the crunchies that I gave them, and they were very happy to have the crunchies. And then shortly after that, I went to bed. And what I noticed was that none of the cats were active last night or this morning. And usually what's been happening since the cats have been eating healthier, mostly homemade, low carb, is that they've been more active, especially in the early morning hours and especially in the morning. Like Simba or Stella normally will jump on me the minute they hear me move in the morning. They're like, okay, time to wake up. And even Boo's more active in the morning. He'll be like looking out the windows or doing something. Like usually the cats have been awake before I've been awake. And today I woke up at like 6 a.m. but I didn't get out of bed until 7. I just like laid there checking emails on my tablet and watching some YouTube videos and stuff like that. And none of the cats were active. And even when I got out of bed around 7 a.m., all of the cats were still sleeping. They were all still in bed. So I wanted to document that because I really think the difference was in the fact that they had canned food for dinner and then they had a crunchy snack later in the night. Because the way they acted this morning after having crunchies last night is the way they used to act when they were getting crunchies every night, which was none of the cats were morning cats. I always used to say, yeah, my cats are not morning people. They like to sleep in. Well, I think that happens when you feed them crunchies at night. It's good if you want to get a really good rest yourself because it keeps the cats kind of like almost like sedated through the night. But if you want to have active cats, it's really really not good. And that's one thing I noticed, and I just wanted to document that. It's 10:13 a.m. The cats all ate their breakfast, and the downstairs cats just finished theirs, and they're kind of wanting to come up. So I said, let me come upstairs and see where the cats are. Look where the cats are. All three of them laying on the bed. Boo's walking around. It is 9 a.m. and I just found this on my living room sofa. And I believe it was Boo. I just checked the security camera footage, and Boo was laying here on this cushion last night, and then I went to bed, and around 1 o'clock in the morning, it looks like he got up and did this. It's on the sofa cushion, and it's on the floor. Here's Boo. So last night, the cats got a snack, and I have not been giving the cats a snack at night recently. So the day before last night, they got some crunchies as a snack. And then yesterday, I found a pile of crunchy vomit. So I cleaned it up, and I was thinking, okay, well, maybe it's Boo because he probably made a pig of himself and, you know, ate other people's food also. And then today I woke up and I found this. And this is like the worst I've ever had to clean up because it's been sitting there for about 8 hours, and it's on my sofa cushion, so I don't even know how I'm going to get that clean. If Boo's going to throw up every time he gets a nighttime snack, they're not getting nighttime snacks anymore. They're just going to go back to 2 meals a day. That's what they were on for a while, and that'll be it. Right, Boo? So here's what it looks like after I cleaned it up with the Nature's Miracle Stain and Odor Eliminator, and then I followed it up with the Hoover Spotless Spot Cleaner, and hopefully it'll dry the same color as it should be, because you can see it's darker where it's wet. So I'm just hoping it doesn't dry like that. I hope when it dries, it's not noticeable. And yeah, we're just going to have to see, because you never know how things are going to dry. So fingers crossed that will dry okay. It's now a few days later, and this is what these sofa cushions look like. I am so happy that I have that Hoover Spotless Spot Cleaner, because it really did a wonderful job in getting these clean. So I think they're back to looking like they did before Boo vomited on them. Here's Boo. He's been laying by this Pop and Play toy. And I just wanted to talk about it for a minute, because the kittens like this toy. Like, I put it on and the little mouse pops out of the holes. But with regards to Boo, he doesn't like playing it when the mouse pops out of the holes. What he does is, like right now when it's not on, he likes to put his paws in the hole and pull the mouse out. Right now there's no mouse sticking out, but if I come back later, there's usually a mouse sticking out. There's Simba. Here's Boo. He says he wants his breakfast. The cats have not eaten their breakfast yet. I have to give them their food. So let me tell you what's going on here with these cat towers. So I've noticed that over the past few days, when the kittens come up in the afternoon, they like laying in these cat towers, and there's usually a kitten in each tower. And what happened the other day was Ziggy was sitting here on the arm of the chair because there was not an empty cat tower. Now, I do have 2 other cat towers in the dining room. So there's 2 in the living room windows, and there's 2 in the dining room windows. And they get really good views of the woods. That's why the cats love these cat towers, because when they're sitting in these cat towers, they can see everything that's going on the street, as well as they get a really good view of the woods and any animals coming in and out and all that stuff. So I felt bad for Ziggy because, you know, she was just on the chair. So I was thinking I need to move the cat condo back here to where it was. So I used to have a cat tower, a cat condo, and a cat tower. And then when things got all shifted around, you know, with the kittens coming in and stuff like that, I just moved stuff around. I think I'm going to put the cat tower back here in the middle, and we'll see what happens. If 3 cats end up using it, then it's worth it. If not, I was thinking maybe I should just put some shelves back here, because I have the 2 sets of shelves in Boo's room. And I used to have the cat towers in Boo's room, but I took them out. And I just, based on who's in Boo's room, And, you know, whether they're sick or healthy is whether I have cat towers or shelves in there. At one point I did have both of the shelves here under this window, but I mean, that could work, but Boo loves the shelves in his room, so I would definitely leave one there. I don't know. They do like the cat towers also, and they do scratch on them. I mean, I could get more shelves to put under this window, but they like scratching on the cat towers and they can't scratch on the shelves. So that's another issue. Yeah, for right now, I'm just going to put the condo here. We'll see what happens. Okay, so the condo is back between the cat towers, and we'll see how the kittens like it. If they use it, maybe Boo will use it because he likes that more than the cat towers. And overall, I find that cats do like it when you rearrange furniture. So, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what they do with it. So I've been trying to get the cats to eat their food in the kitchen, but they like eating it on their play rug. They definitely feel ownership of this rug because it is their rug. Like, this is their space. So they do like eating here. So they're having some homemade raw food for breakfast today with a little bit of freeze-dried chicken sprinkled on top. I should also mention that we are now at the point where I don't have to put gates in this door anymore. This is the door between the kitchen and downstairs. And I used to have to put a gate in the door because the cats would just bang on the door at night and there'd be like a lot of scratching. Do you see what they did to the door paint? Yeah, they've been scratching the paint off of the door. So at least that's progress, that I don't have to put the gate in the door anymore. And even if I open the door and there are kittens on this side of the door, they don't automatically run up, because what they've found is when they do, they get met by the other cats and that scares them, and then they come back down. So this is a piece that I've had in the living room, this square piece with the scratcher, and there's like a brush on it. And I've had this for years. I originally bought it years ago for Boo, but he doesn't like it. He likes arches and he doesn't like the brush on this one. So I've had it in various locations upstairs and no one has really played with it or enjoyed it. So I was like, let me bring it downstairs. This will be the final hurrah. If they use it down here, we can keep it, and if not, it's gonna go. So this is where I put it maybe an hour ago, and as we can see, Sammy and little Eva have been enjoying it so far. So on the bottom in that platform, there's like a ball in there, and there's holes where the cats can stick their paws. So it looks like they're enjoying that part of it. Now there is a hunting box toy upstairs, and what happens is the cats get the balls out of it really easily, and then goodbye balls, like I don't know where they go. So there's Ringo. He's sticking his paws way in there. He loves anything that has like pom-poms or balls with it. That's his favorite toy. Anything with like a ball. So I start my morning cat routine with brushing, and the upstairs cats get brushed and the downstairs cats get brushed, although only 3 of them let me brush them, and that is Richard, Sammy, and Nancy, who's sitting over there. But I do try to brush the others. They just run from it, so I don't want to freak them out too much, so I don't get really aggressive with trying to brush them. But I'm hoping that the 3 that allow me to brush them just set good examples for the others. And Richard sheds so much hair or fur, whatever you want to call it. Out of all the cats down here, I get the most off of him. And another thing that I wanted to mention is that so far these kittens have very different fur than the upstairs cats. Their fur is much shorter. Are you going to nibble on my arm? It's definitely much shorter and much finer. So Sammy's fur has gotten very thick. I don't know if it's the raw food or it's just how her fur is, but out of all the cats down here, she tends to have fur that's most like the cats upstairs, which is thick and fluffy. It's hard to see because she's black. Here's Nancy. And her fur is very, very short and Definitely more fine, not as thick as the other cats upstairs. But I'm wondering if it's because it's like a kitten coat. Do kittens have different coats than adult cats? And also, I'm wondering if it's diet, because I noticed a change in my cats as far as their fur goes after they were on raw food for a while. And that's the very first thing that I was told. So the first time I went to buy commercial raw food in a pet store, there happened to be a rep from Nature's Variety there, which is Instinct. And I was talking to her about it, and she said when she put her cats on raw food, it completely changed their coats. Their coats became fuller and fluffier. And that's definitely how I would describe Stella, Simba, Splash, and Boo's coats. Their fur is definitely very full and also fluffy. Simba has the longest fur of the bunch. Stella has the fullest fur of the bunch. Like, her fur is so dense. And then Boo would have, I don't know if he has the shortest fur. Like, Splash and Boo pretty much have the same kind of fur. It's not as dense as Stella's, and it's not as long and fluffy as Simba's. It's kind of like in the middle. So I'm just curious to find out what's going to happen with these cats. Are they going to keep this really short, fine fur, or is it going to change? Like Sammy's fur has definitely changed. I mean, I don't know if you could see. It's just really thick and really dense and really puffy, right? I mean, it's still short, but it's really thick. Much more thicker than Richard's. Right, Sammy? So in the morning, the cats get some treats that I feed them by hand. And these are some Blue Wilderness treats. And this is what they do. I usually just sit here on the couch or somewhere, and then they gather around me. And then they'll each get fed a treat or two by hand. It's like their daily communion. All right, guys, ready? Want some treats? Okay, hold on. Here you go. Peace be with you, Sammy. Peace be with you, Richard. Peace be with you, Goldie. Peace be with you, Nancy. Peace be with you, Ziggy. Peace be with you, Eva. Eva does not eat it out of my hand. I have to throw it at her. There's Ringo. He does not want any treats this morning because he is too interested in this toy. So I'm really happy I put it down here. But what's interesting is that when it was upstairs, nobody would play with it. I mean, it's the same exact toy. It's just in a different location. Nobody wanted to play with it. Okay, next round of treats. God bless Sammy. God bless Richard. God bless Goldie. God bless Ziggy. Eva. Nancy. Come here. You had yours. Nancy. God bless Nancy. I threw one at Eva. Oh, Goldie got it. Here, Eva. God bless Goldie. What I just realized today is that there are 7 cats here. 7 kittens. And 2 of them are boys, and there's 5 girls. And if I would have known that there were 7 and 5 girls and 2 boys, I might have named them after the children in The Sound of Music. So Ringo would be Kurt, and Richard would be Friedrich, and Nancy would be Liesel. And then we would have Louisa, Brigitte, Marta, and Gretel. I don't know who Sammy would be, though, because she's such a Sammy. Maybe she would be Gretel. No, Gretel would be... Little Eva would be Gretel, because she's the smallest. And then Marta and Brigitte would probably be the Torties. Actually, Marta would be Ziggy, because she's probably also the smallest now. Little Eva's probably bigger than her, but I just feel like the name Gretel fits Little Eva so much more so than Ziggy. No, I think Goldie would be Marta, and Ziggy would be Brigitte. So it would be Brigitte, Marta, Gretel, And then it would be Louisa or Liesel. I think Sammy would be Louisa and Nancy would be Liesel. Or maybe vice versa. I don't know. But anyway, it would fit perfectly. It would absolutely fit perfectly. And if I would have known, I might have done that because I probably have seen the Sound of Music movie more than any other movie ever. I even went to Salzburg, Austria and took the Sound of Music tour when I was in college. So these could have been the Sound of Music cats. And there they are. 6 cats eating and Nancy walking around. Nancy likes to eat last, or she likes to hold out for canned food or crunchies. And sometimes little Eva follows her when she does that. I just came upstairs after trying to get Richard downstairs, and he was looking at Simba, and Simba is growling. I'm gonna pick Simba up and put him in my room. Stella and Splash are in my room with the door shut, so then that'll be that, and then it's just Boo and Richard up here. For some reason, Richard wanted to come upstairs today really early. Okay, so Boo's in his room, Stella, Splash, and Simba are in my room, and Richard's wandering around, and Nancy just came upstairs. So I'm gonna let all the kittens up. I still have to scoop all the litter, and today is Monday. It's the first work day of the week, so I need to get a lot of stuff done. Here's Boo in his room. He loves his room. I still need to spend more time, integrating the cats and, getting them together, but it's a balancing act. And it has to be a slow process. If the cats were all living outside, it would be on their time frame. It would not be on my time frame. And people have to remember that whenever I... Hey! Holy God, how is Richard in here? Okay, Richard just left, and that is why I don't trust Richard with the cats without my supervision. You okay, Boo? Boo has some fur in his mouth. You okay, Boo? You okay? How'd you get fur in your mouth? Okay, be good, Boo. It is 7:30 p.m. I'm just about to feed the cats dinner, and look at what Boo did. He pulled the mouse out. He sat down next to this toy and he pulled the mouse out. Right, Stella? I saw that, Boo. You gonna kiss your girl?